Greetings, everyone. Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, Senior Fellow at the Media Research Center. Just last week, the president of the Media Research Center, Brent Bozell, wrote an incredible piece that talked about the can't-do Republicans. And what he was specifically addressing was the fact that we have House and Senate majority of Republicans as well as a Republican president. And one of the things that we continue to see are wasteful spending measures, such as the omnibus spending bill, $1.3 trillion, which is the second largest spending measure in the history of the United States of America. We continue to see a lack of funding for the border security system. And if you have not been paying attention to the border crossing in the San Diego sector, you will see that we do need a border security system and a wall, since people are able to scale the border fence that is there and sit atop of it. We also continue to see $568.7 million of taxpayer funding going to an organization that was founded by a white supremacist and a racist, a person that spoke at Klan rallies, and that is Planned Parenthood. I don't think that taxpayer money should be going to kill our unborn, but yet we have a Republican majority in the House and the Senate that are doing exactly that. The rule of law has to stand and mean for something, and we need to have a Republican majority that does that, and I think that was the crux of what Mr. Bozell was saying in his Can't Do Republicans article. We continue to get campaign promises, but yet those campaign promises are never met. And see, none of us want to have a Nancy Pelosi as the Speaker of the House or a Chuck Schumer as the Senate Majority Leader, but what we do want is a constitutional conservative background that believes in fiscal responsibility and fiscal conservatism, that believes in right-sizing the scope of the federal government, that precludes the federal government from being weaponized against the American people. But we're not seeing that happen right now. And so one of the things that I wrote about just yesterday for CNS News in a commentary piece was the so what test for the Republicans. So what do we have these majorities? But when are we going to start to see this incredible revelation about the deep state finally being held accountable? See, Greta von Susteren, who was once a Fox News commentator, coined an incredible phrase, said that Washington, D.C. is the city of no consequences. And we continue to hear and see every single night on the evening news about certain people and the corruption, the cronyism, the nepotism that is now pretty rampant in Washington, D.C. And we have to ask ourselves, so what do we have this majority if we don't start to see indictments, if we don't start to see people held accountable, if we don't start to see consequences? Andrew McCabe is a great point. Think about Senator John Tester, what he just did to unsubstantiated claims against a very honorable man, the White House physician, Admiral Ronnie Jackson. Is he going to be held accountable? Think about the fact that we had 13 hours when Americans were abandoned to die in an Islamic jihadist terrorist attack. And a U.S. ambassador lost his life, 2 former Navy SEALs and the State Department IT specialists. But yet no one has been held accountable. Now, some people will say that's just how it is, but when we know that people were abandoned to die, Americans, and the situation was lied about, there should be someone held accountable. Operation Fast and Furious with Eric Holder, we know that Brian Terry, United States Border Patrol agent, lost his life. No one's held accountable. We know that the IRS was weaponized against the American people, the constitutional conservative grassroots movement called the Tea Party, yet John Koskinen and Lois Lerner are still walking the streets, doing whatever they want, to include taxpayer-funded pensions. Hillary Clinton, I don't think that any one of us could have a private email server in our homes that was transmitting classified business of the United States government. But somehow she can do that. Now think about all the lies that we're finding out between James Comey and Andrew McCabe, between the former Attorney General Loretta Lynch. Think about the fact that Ben Rhodes, the former Deputy National Security Advisor, came out and said that, yes, we lied to the American media because we wanted them to go out and deliver our story when it came to the Iranian nuclear agreement, something that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu tore apart yesterday with his intelligence and his revelations. But who is going to be held accountable? See, having all the hearings and everything, that's great. But if it doesn't end up with the deep state, with the bureaucratic administrative state being held accountable, consequences, we cannot continue on with this type of a majority up there in Washington, D.C. So as we go toward the midterm election cycle, and we know that there are about 39 different Republicans that are stepping down from the House or the Senate, this is the most important thing that needs to happen. We need to have people on Capitol Hill that say that they are Republicans, truly constitutional conservatives, that are not afraid of the progressive socialist left, not afraid of the liberal progressive media, and will do what is right to protect and honor and defend the Constitution of the United States of America and the integrity of our government. Because we must restore the confidence of the American people to the government, or else these past 200 and almost 40 some odd years will be another failure. It is time that the Republicans pass the so what test and let us know the reason why they were voted into majority, which is to hold Washington, D.C. accountable.